I was really hoping we were not going to have to deal with this. Okay? And I'm not going to talk much about the ACC championship game itself. This video is obviously about the playoff prediction, but Louisville! No, I'm dropping the logical and analyst commentator thing for a second. Louisville, what? The whole college football world was counting on you. And Florida State hands you the game multiple times. You drop 2 back-to-back interceptions. They have that whole thing where they muff the punt. And then you throw an interception. And on top of that, last thing I'm going to say here. I didn't know who Louisville's backup quarterback was. Obviously, I don't think most people do. Looked it up. It's a guy by the name of Domon Jackson. And from everything I've read, he's pretty good. So why would you keep Jack Plummer in this game? I'm sorry, maybe that's a hot take, but I was watching the whole fourth quarter. Jack, you could tell he was totally rattled. You could see it in his facial expression. He gave up on the game. He could not do anything. Why wouldn't you at least give another quarterback a shot when the whole college football world is counting on you to take Florida State, that sick dog of the college football world, out to the woodshed? I'm a Florida fan. I go to UF. We did you a favor last week. Not to root for injuries, but we did you a favor last week by putting a quarterback, Brock Glenn, who was totally inept. Okay, that has to be one of the worst single performances I've ever seen in a Division I football game, and still, I think I'm going to screw it up today. Unbelievable. Props to Florida State for the win, but Louisville, you're a joke. Okay, absolute joke. Anyways, with that said, folks, like and subscribe, by the way. We've just started the brand new college football channel. Let's just address the question that it's on everyone's minds right now. Who belongs in the playoff? And is Florida State a playoff team? Okay, and let's just go right to the question of, is Florida State a playoff team? Because I think most people understand it's either going to be one of two things. Either it's going to be Michigan, Washington, Florida State. The committee says being undefeated is enough. And Texas, because I really doubt Bama's going to win a head-to-head over Texas when they lost the head-to-head in the season, right? Or the committee's going to deport FSU to number 5. Bama and Texas get in. The truth is, there is no right answer to that question, okay? And I try to be as unbiased as possible. I know people are going to say, well, you're a Gator, so you're biased. Not really, okay? If Florida State were a high caliber team this year that seemed better than Texas or seemed better than Alabama, then I would say put Florida State in. If Jordan Travis still were their quarterback, then it's still, I'd probably still say put them in. But I think that, let me say this, because the truth is I'm wrestling with this myself personally, and I can't give a right answer that won't make someone mad. So let me just tell you how I honestly feel about it, which is, if the playoff is truly about the 4 best teams, now it's not, okay? I know the committee says they're about the 4 best teams, but that's not true. Because if it were true, Alabama would have gotten in over TCU last year. I would even make the case, for example, that Ohio State in 2015 would have gotten in over Michigan State, or at least one of those teams that made it that year. But clearly, from what we've seen, and probably the way it generally should be, is that it's kind of a mix of best and most deserving, okay? But even on the track record of most deserving, I guess this is an interesting question of who actually is the most deserving in this situation. So here's what I'll say about it. I'll say, if the committee is going to say that it's truly the 4 best teams, Florida State does not belong in the playoff. That's just an objective fact. All right, you can get mad. Oh no, but because this, no, they don't. Okay, they don't. On the flip side, it's also very hard to justify not letting an undefeated Power 5 conference champion, regardless of how you feel about it, into the playoff itself. So, and I know this is a fence-sitting take, but the truth of the matter is, on some level, I guess I'd be happy with both. Okay. As a pure college football fan who just wants to see good games, and that's probably most of the way that's kind of going on in my heart and mind, I think Texas and Alabama should be in. And again, if you're truly going to stick to the principle of 4 best, they should obviously be in. But again, I'm going with the recognition and understanding, even if that's what they say, that's not what it really is, right? But on the flip side, if they let in an undefeated conference champion and Alabama gets taken out, well, I can't say I can, in good faith, be too mad about that either, because they're undefeated. I mean, what do you want to do, right? Like, but so that's why truly I don't know. Okay. I think as a matter of pure college football principle, Florida State should be in. But as a matter of just like being a fan, not of the Gators, okay, stop, of the sport, they don't belong in the playoff. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, that's, you know, if what you saw tonight, then that's true. But keep in mind, Tate Rodemaker will be back for the playoffs. He's a much better quarterback than the absolute CDL employee that was Brock Glenn tonight. And that certainly is true. Okay. And on the flip side, Florida State's defense is really good. And that's an underrated part. And that's actually something I pointed out in the prediction and not a lot of people talk about, is Florida State's defense is definitely one of the best units in America. Wouldn't say they're the best. Definitely top 10, arguably at points, right? Top 5 defense in this country. But you also just have an instinct as a fan. Texas would destroy that team, even with Tate Rodemaker. So would Alabama. So what do you do here? Again, that's why I'm really I don't know what the committee's going to do. And I don't think everyone claims they're going to do this. Who the heck knows? And you think about the politics of it too, right? Like, what would be a worse look? Screwing over Nick Saban and an Alabama team who just beat #1 Georgia, or screwing over a team that is undefeated? And also, by the way, a blue blood program of this sport, obviously. I don't know what they're going to do. And we'll probably react to it tomorrow. But again, that's kind of how I feel about it. So if Florida State does get screwed, well, either way, a team's getting screwed. So if Florida State gets screwed, I'll be honest, I'll be happy. Not because, haha, screw Florida State because I go to Florida, but because I want to see a good playoff. And I want that Alabama team we saw this Saturday to have a shot. And I thought they deserved a shot basically the entirety of late October to November. Okay. But so I'll probably be the happiest, I think, if Alabama does make it in. But if they don't, kind of be like, okay, well, I guess I get it. You know what I mean? So I know this video was not very coherent and I did not reach a logical conclusion because there is no easy conclusion, truly. Again, deep down, I want it to be Alabama over Florida State. Part of me thinks it should be Alabama over Florida State, but it is such a moral gray area that, like, if you come to me and say it should be Florida State, I really, like, there's not much I can argue with you because, like, I get it. They're undefeated, Power 5, whatever. Tate Rodemaker, as I said, actually, in my prediction video of this game, I said, guys, he's a way better quarterback than people recognize, and I still stand by that, right? So I don't know. Here's one question I do want to raise, because I think most people agree. It's probably, if any team gets screwed, if they take Florida State in, it's probably going to be Alabama. I think it's very unlikely they take Texas after winning the head-to-head. I think it's unlikely that they don't take Texas, I should say. Is there a possibility if Alabama gets left out and they massacre whoever they play in the bowl game, that Alabama claims a national championship this year? People say, Vince, what are you talking about? Well, this used to happen all the time. In 2003, for instance, even in the modern era, right? Back before the BCS, like there's multiple teams. Hey, we say we won this year, whatever. Like everyone's just claiming national championships. But this has actually even happened in the modern era. Because 2003, LSU wins the BCS title, but USC finishes the season ranked AP number 1. Because the AP voters say, well, the BCS kind of screwed over USC this year. We're going to vote for USC to be number 1. And so what happens that year is they split the national title. LSU is the BCS national champion. USC is the AP national champion. If Alabama does not make it, and again, like I said, you're assuming they have to win their bowl game dominantly, right? You got to kind of get them up to do that. Does that happen? Firstly, does the AP maybe look at that and say, well, maybe we might vote Alabama the final poll number 1? Or even if that doesn't happen, does Alabama just say, we're claiming a national title? I don't know. Either way, all I know is regardless of whatever happens, this is just the worst case scenario for the sport of college football. Because whatever happens, like either way, again, there's no truly right answer to this. Someone's going to lose credibility. Someone's going to look really bad. One fan base will rightfully feel that they were screwed. And that's the way it is. So, you know what? I'm just going to say, let's wait and see what happens tomorrow. And then, like I said, whatever happens, just try to make the best of it. You know, hope for a good playoff, whatever. Again, I feel like either result, even if you're not happy, you can understand. And so just be like, okay, let's go with it. But man, they should do an emergency injunction to just expand the playoff to 6 or something. I don't know if that's possible. I doubt it is. We need it. Okay, just do it. I don't know. NCAA, let's have a late night meeting. Say we're doing a 6-team or an 8-team playoff. Oh, well, we weren't ready for that. Go. No, go. You're playing. You're playing. I don't know. Let me know what you think of the CFP conundrum. We'll talk about this more when the rankings come out because I don't have much else to say. Let's just see what they decide to do. Truly. So yeah. See you later. God bless. Louisville, you are a bunch of clowns. You let us all down. Okay? Peace.